The small southern town had always whispered of the swamp's sinister secrets. An aura of fear clung to the murky waters, and I, a young journalist, couldn't resist the temptation to explore its enigmatic depths. The town's residents, a worried and superstitious bunch, shared tales of ghostly aspirations that wandered the swamp's edge, of unexplained disappearances, and of eerie, echo cries that pierced the night. The warnings were chilling, but they fueled my curiosity. One foggy evening, as I prepared to venture into the heart of the swamp, a local resident approached me. It was an old man with a gnarled cane and a gaze filled with foreboding. In his trembling hands, he held a waterlogged journal. He spoke in a hushed and trembling voice. "You're not the first to be drawn to the swamp's mysteries. Take this. It was my brother's, and he disappeared in those dark waters. Maybe this will help you understand." The journal was faded and wrinkled, hinting at years of submersion. Intrigued and now driven by a sense of responsibility, I accepted and began to decipher its contents. The older man's brother had ventured into the swamp years ago, and his writings grew increasingly erratic as he described the haunting figures he encountered. The swamp seemed to come alive with their presence, and they beaconed him with ghostly voices. As I read the final entries, the man's descent into madness was palpable. The journal ended abruptly, and I couldn't help but wonder what happened to him. The swamp had claimed him, and now it beaconed to me, its secrets pulling me even deeper. The atmosphere grew more oppressive as I approached the swamp's heart. Shadows flitted into the periphery of my vision, and a soft rustle of unseen footsteps filled my ears. The fog, thick and suffocating, seemed to move with a sinister will. The whispers grew louder, more distant. Strange and half-formed apparitions materialized from the fog, their eyes gleaming with malevolence. They beaconed with spectral fingers, their voices like distant cries from the abyss. I recognized them from the journal, the tormented souls who had once ventured here. My steps grew unsteadily, my heart pounding. I retreated, my mind filled with terror, but the swamp would not release the grip. Roots and vines reached up to ensnare me, dragging me into the muck. As I was pulled beneath the surface, I took a glimpse at the journal, and its pages still open to the mad scrawlings of the man who had ventured before me. It was a chilling testimony to the horrors of the swamp, a warning that would never be heeded. The murky waters closed over my head, and the whispers of the swamp's tormented souls filled my ears. It had claimed me, as it had claimed so many before. I never thought I'd end up in a town like this. It was just a pit stop on my way to somewhere better. The neon sign of the rundown motel flickered ominously as I pulled into the parking lot, casting eerie shadows on the cracked pavement. A feeling that this might not be the peaceful pit stop I'd hoped for. The receptionist, a man with eyes that bored into my soul, eyed me strangely when I checked in. He asked me how long I planned to stay, and a shiver ran down my spine as I shrugged, not wanting to commit to an answer. That night, the hotel room felt like a prison. The air was heavy, with a suffocating silence, broken only by the distant echoes of muffled whispers and the footsteps that seemed to lead to nowhere. Every creak of the floorboards filled me with unease. I could have sworn I heard faint chants in the dark. Morning brought no solace. I ventured into the local diner for a meal, hoping for some semblance of normalcy. The patrons were huddled in small groups, casting worried glances my way as I entered. Their conversations ceased abruptly, leaving me with an unsettling feeling that their eyes were on me, dissecting my every move. It was as if they knew something I didn't. My unease deepened as I explored the town. The dilapidated buildings and overgrown gardens harboring secrets I couldn't fathom. People rushed past me, their faces contorted by a sense of urgency I couldn't comprehend. My inquiries were met with cryptic respondents about an impending offering to their god. and the terror that gripped the town was palpable. It was after exploring the town on my way back to the hotel that I discovered the truth. My car had been sabotaged. I had known it was in perfect working order, so the realizations gave me the chills. It couldn't have been an accident. Someone had deliberately tampered with my only means of escape. Back in the motel, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was missing something, that the answer to the town's madness was right under my nose. Desperation drove me to search the room meticulously. That's when I stumbled upon a message scratched into the back of the dresser drawer. It was left by a previous guest, a warning about the town's sinister secret, a sacrificial ritual, and how they never made it out alive. The message described a hidden chamber beneath the motel where the horrors of the town were concealed. My heart raced as I realized I was next, chosen to be the unwilling participant in a ritual I couldn't comprehend. I attempted to call for help, but I knew I couldn't trust the local police. I dialed the FBI, who scoffed at my story and hung up on me. Little did I know that the town had bugged my room, and they were listening to my every word. My car was sabotaged, the walls were closing in on me, and the chilling knowledge that I was the town's next victim. Fear gripped me. I had no one to turn to, and the town folks were closing in, preparing to carry out their heinous plan. In fear of my life, I decided to confront the motel owner. After a violent struggle, I managed to steal his car keys and make a desperate escape. But as soon as I sped down the winding road out of town, my relief was short-lived. Up ahead, I could see a line of police cars, all bearing the name of the town I've just fled, blocking my path. My heart sank as the realization hit me. There was no escape. I was trapped in this horrifying place, destined to become the sacrifice for a god I didn't even know. The town folk had ensured that no one could leave, and I was just another unwitting victim in their macabre ritual. There was a 22-year-old woman in a small, secluded town deep within the woods by the name of Emily. She was a curious and adventurous soul, always seeking out new thrills and excitement. One day, she stumbled upon an old abandoned house that whispered tales of horror and mystery. Unable to resist the pull of the unknown, she ventured inside, her heart pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. The house creaked and groaned, seemingly alive with secrets. As she explored its deep corridors, she noticed peculiar paintings adorning the walls, depicting scenes of unimaginable terror. In one particular painting, Emily's eyes were drawn to a young boy smirking devilishly and his eyes filled with malice. It sent a shiver down her spine, but something about the painting captivated her. She couldn't look away. Days turned into weeks, and Emily became obsessed with the enigmatic painting. She found herself returning to the abandoned house time and time again, drawn to the boy's wicked grin, but little did she know, the painting held a sinister secret. One fateful night, as Emily stood before the painting, she felt a peculiar sensation. The boy's eyes seemed to follow her every move, as if he was alive. A chill ran down her spine, and she tried to tear away her gaze, but it was too late. The painting came to life. The boy stepped out of the frame, his wicked grin stretching wider. Emily's heart raced as she realized she had been falling into a trap. The boy was no ordinary child. He was an ancient spirit, hungry for souls, and Emily had unwittingly became his next victim. With lightning speed, the boy lunged at Emily, his eyes filled with an insatiable hunger. As he sank his teeth into her flesh, Emily let out a blood-curdling scream that echoed throughout the empty halls. The boy's laughter mingled with her cries, a symphony of horror. But just as all hope seemed lost, the plot twists in the most gut-wrenching way. As Emily's life force began to fade, her body transformed, revealing her true identity. She was the boy all along, trapped in a cursed cycle of torment. The wicked grin that once belonged to the boy now adorned Emily's face. In a cruel twist of fate, the cursed painting had lured Emily into his clutches, using her own curiosity against her. The boy, now freed from his prison, vanished into the night, leaving behind a trail of darkness and despair. And so, the legend of the haunted painting continues, drawing in unexpected victims with its allure, only to trap their souls for eternity. The village forever haunted by the twisted fate of Emily, becoming a cautionary tale, a place where fear and curiosity mingled, forever binding them in a circle of terror. Good evening, everyone. This is Yuri K, and this is the end of the video. Please leave a comment and let us know your opinions on the matter. If you happen to like this content, please check out our other videos. Make sure you like and share amongst your friends and family to help our community grow. You happen to be new to this channel? Please make sure you subscribe. It's free, and you can always change it in the future. You have some terrifying story suggestions? If so, make sure that you send it to my email, fearofthedarkstories@gmail.com, and I'll feature it in a future segment. But you guys stay safe out there, and remember to always be afraid of the dark.